Hey everyone, it's Priscilla from Prisca Art Henna, and today I'm going to show you guys a really quick tutorial on how to draw a sunflower that I love to draw in henna. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So first I'm going to mark off where I want the middle of my sunflower to be, just by doing a few little random dots right in the middle. And then I'm going to go around that middle with a bunch of lines circling that middle dot or cluster of dots. Kind of like this. You can do them light, don't do them super dark. You want the middle of your sunflower to be kind of, shaded. And then we're going to go ahead and go around that very thinly one more time. I actually used to do a lot of sunflowers back in the day, and I looked at some real sunflowers and I finally kind of got a style down that I really liked. It's kind of cool to draw different kinds of flowers in different ways, just to kind of figure out which one you like the best. Definitely takes practice and some time to really get it down perfectly and by memory, but after a while you can definitely do it. Alright, so there is a middle of our sunflower. So now what I want to do is I want to do some petals evenly around. I think I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 petals. So I'm going to do this by starting off at the top of my sunflower, and then I'm going to start here at the bottom. I'm going to go wide, then I'm going to go up, do a little bump, go wide, and meet there in the middle. And now I'm going to do one at the bottom to make sure that it comes out evenly. So I'm going to start in the middle, go wide, go up, make a bump. I'm trying to make my petals a very similar in size, but they don't have to be exactly the same because flowers never really are in real life. Now I'm going to do one over here on this side. Start small, go wide, do a little bump, go wide, and go back in. Now we're going to do it on this side. Same thing as the other ones. And go back in. And now we're going to do ones in these 4 corners as well. Now what you can do for these is you can either start in the middle, go wide, and just touch the other petal. Go small, make the bump, touch the other petal, and come back in. Or you can make it seem like the petal is behind the other petals by just kind of doing the beginning of it down there, and then going to the top, to the kind of the middle, making it and putting it behind the other petals. You can do whatever you would like for your flower, but I like doing a mix of both. It kind of keeps the flower interesting, not too similar all the way around. But yeah, you can even do 1/2 covered and 1/2 not covered. It's up to you completely. So after we do that, I'm going to add some petals behind all of these 8 petals. You're going to go like this, around the middle of all of those 8 petals. Alright, now for the fun part, we are going to add in shading. So there's multiple ways you can do this. I'm going to show you all the different ways that I like to shade my sunflowers. So number 1, you can do a nice thick line kind of flowing through your petals. I'm going to do on a few so y'all can kind of get the idea. Kind of start on the outside. I can go like that. Even add a second one on the other side. So on these 2, we're going to do those thick lines, and then we're going to add some shading around it, kind of following the flow of that thick line. Get some from the top, bring some from the bottom, kind of like that. Let's do it on this one as well. So I'm going to put some kind of in the middle, put some around those thick lines as well, and have a few coming from the top. Do your shading nice and light, kind of flick your henna cone like that. So now let's go to a different kind of petal. This one can be just following the outside curves of the petal, very lightly shading, nothing too dark. Maybe like 2 or 3 from the top as well. You'll probably shade a lot better on skin than on this slick hand I'm using right here for practice. Gotta make sure that I keep my petals nice. This one's gonna do a few from the inside and some from the top. Kind of just meeting in the middle. On this one you can do some more curvedness, some thick ones, and some thin ones. The same thing over here. Kind of curve your shading too with the petals. Kind of match the outside curve of your petals if you can. So this petal is kind of like going like this. I'm just going to follow it to the top. I can even just go halfway sometimes if I want to. And for the ones that are cut off, I kind of just try to stick in the middle. So I'm not messing up the outside line too much, these lines. And now for the ones on the outside, I kind of just keep it simple. Doing some shading from the middle. It kind of does add a little bit of, you know, symmetry, doing the outside ones the same. You can do them all differently though. If you want to add some from coming from the top, some shading from the top of the petal, you can do that too. It's up to you completely. Gonna add a few, coming like that. All right, and there is your absolutely gorgeous henna sunflower. Now, if you want to add some filigree around it, some kind of designs around it, you can 100% do that too, with leaves or swirls or dots. I'm going to show you something very, very simple and quick you can do from the top. Let's just say you want to do a swirl. I'm going to do like a little bit off-centered, not completely centered. I'm going to start over here on this petal. It's going to squeeze, make it thick, and then make it thin, like that. I'm going to even that out a little bit. And then I'm going to do another line with that one as well. So we go next to it. I'm going to just follow that swirl, squeeze, and then release to make a little leaf. Then I'm going to start right here. I'm going to squeeze, make like a teardrop, squeeze, release. Oops. Oh gosh, that was funny. We're going to make that work. Sometimes that happens, guys. It's okay. You can just turn into dots if you really want to. And no one will be the wiser. If you're working on a client or a friend or yourself, it's cool for people to know and be like, hey, she knows how to improvise. As a henna artist, you got to learn that because sometimes mistakes do happen and that is okay. Look at those dots. What a perfect addition. It's like it was meant to happen. Just going to do a few of these and maybe like a little something like that and some dots to go away. I feel like dots kind of pull everything together. And then I don't like leaving this part empty too much, so sometimes I'll do like a little bit of leaves kind of coming out like that with a dot, just to kind of fill in that empty space a little bit. And then you can do the same thing on the other side if you would like, because symmetry is very nice if you like that. So I'm going to do a little swirl down here. Now there's less space on the fingers, and that's okay. You just make your designs a little bit smaller. You don't have to match your top exactly, but you can if you would like. So something like that, something simple, and maybe some little things like that to kind of flow down a little bit. And one thing I like to do, this is good for people if you don't know what to do with like the rest of your fingers, you can just do simple dots. You can do 1, 2, 3, big to small, going from the tip of the finger up, well, where the fingernail is. So pretend there's like a fingernail there, just like this. And I'm going to see if I want to add dots anywhere else. And I usually do. Usually like around here I'll add 1 and I'm kind of, I don't know. I feel like that's very complete, not too much going on. Going to just clean up some of my dots down here a little bit. But feel free to take away from this tutorial whatever you think you learned, from shading to how to draw the sunflower, some swirls and dots. I'll probably go deeper in another video how to do the swirls and dots like that, kind of how to practice that and drill those designs into your brain. But I think this design is a very nice simple one for a beginner if you really want to work on your shading and some realistic flowers like what I love. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to never stop creating. Bye guys. If you decided to follow this tutorial, please tag me on Facebook or Instagram or even TikTok, Prisca Art Henna. I would love to see what you have drawn up. Thanks so much for watching.